afternoon, everybody. It's Jerome Wood. I'm joined by a couple good friends of mine. I got Seth Caffey, Trayvon Childs here today. This is our Young Men's Buzz Hour. May not be a full hour, maybe half an hour. Either way, it's a buzz time. Here representing Golden Harvest Community Church, where our pastor is Elder James Wood, First Lady Lisa Wood, which happen to be my parents as well. Today, what we'll be doing is having a quick discussion with a couple young guys up here, basically going over some kind of, I guess you could say, keys to success. We're going to talk about how God plays a major role in that. I'm going to ask them a few questions, kind of go over, why they believe certain principles are important for success. Kind of go over a few other things, but before we get to that, I'm going to let each one of these gentlemen introduce themselves, tell them who they are, and we'll go from there. So, Seth, you want to start, my brother?
All right, I'm Seth Caffey, local volunteer boxing coach. I've been working with the youth now for 12 years. I think it's 12 years. It's been a while. Hey, hold on. Don't. Glad I got the haircut. Hide the grades. But yeah, I enjoy working with young people as professionally and as a hobby. So glad to be a part of it.
Right on. My name is Trayvon Childs. Father, fitness enthusiast, just all around good guy. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Enthusiast, I like that. Oh man, so one of the things that my mom wanted us to kind of touch on today, being that we are kind of the greatest generation ever born here in the United States, that is basically our time to lead. So that's kind of where the questions are going to kind of stem from. So the first question I will present to both of you guys, and it's going to be kind of a broad range of questions, so we'll go with that. Don't be reading my questions, man.
What? I'm not cheating.
I know. So first question, and I'll pose it to you first, Seth. What do you do when things get difficult in life?
So it's one thing is very hard. It's very, very hard. I feel like am I still considered a young man?
Yeah,
I'm over 30.
You'll be young for this conversation.
I appreciate you. One thing I find that's very hard as a young man is that society, this is my personal opinion, that society makes it hard for us to express how we feel, whether it's frustration, personally, professionally, faith-wise, and you got to be able to build rapport and relationships with people that you feel will better you. And then sometimes it's hard to find people who you feel honestly have their intent is not impacting yours. That they want nothing but good things for you. So
yeah, true.
I had to really, and I lost my father. It'll be 6 years. 6 years. So that was something that was hard to figure out in mid-20s. Not having a father going, into my 30s, into my 40s. That's typically who people we rely on.
Sure.
And that's tough. So when I found things aren't going, I have to. One thing he did teach me before he left this planet is to rely on faith, and then look for the ones who will help you.
Yeah.
And so I do have a couple mentors, and that was probably one thing I realized as a young adult, as a young man in my early 20s, that sometimes a good work ethic isn't enough.
Yeah.
Just that's hard to accept, that working hard sometimes just isn't enough, and your work ethic sometimes won't get you where you need to be. Sometimes you got to have your faith, and sometimes you got to have somebody who's been there in the trenches and can guide you through those things. So I try to rely on my mentors and my faith when things get kind of struggle. And then my wife. So my wife's had to put that in there. I don't know if she's watching. Put it on there. But my wife, my backbone. We've been together for a while, and so it feels good to be a young man because I get to be young today.
There we go.
And to have somebody who is there when the world beats down a man, because that's hard.
True. Same question to you, Mr. Childs.
What do I do when times get hard, man? First and course, pray. But also, there's a reason for every season, man.
Yeah.
So, fortunately for me, I have a very great and strong group of friends, a support system at that, man, that I can kind of, talk to at SEPSA, that mentorship, including you, Pops, right over there. But yeah, most of the time when things get too difficult, things get overwhelming, I typically go work out, man. That's kind of where I release any stress, any frustrations. That also helps me ask myself a lot of questions about the current situation that I'm going through, that I'm stressing out.
Sure.
And kind of get my mind together and, come up with a calculated plan on how to approach, whatever it is that's stressing me out. So, but yeah, that's it. I mean, definitely work out. Whatever. It doesn't have to be working out necessarily. I mean, whatever your go-to thing is, whatever your vice is, to kind of, when the world is tough and this is what takes away everything.
Suspends reality type thing,
yeah,
right?
I don't care if it's playing video games. I don't care if it's putting together a puzzle. Whatever it is to kind of you have fun and enjoy doing, that's what you should resort to, man.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely, man.
I agree.
When the gyms was open, it was going to, beating on the bag, boxing gym. But yeah, definitely working out. For me, that's what I do.
That's good. Sound like you guys, kind of what I took from it, you guys have a plan. Like when things get difficult, it's not like you just kind of go free willy-nilly with it. You kind of have a plan as far as...
That's a gamble. You can't do that. That's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. You should have a plan, but I think that's important to have a plan. So to understand that when times get difficult, because they're going to come, you can't prevent having difficult times. But when they come, to understand that, one, they only come for a short time. Two, to have that plan. I know both you guys touched on whether it's faith or just praying, that be one of the main things. Like when times get that hard, there's someone else to go to. Like, then you have that there.
When my dad was battling his cancer that he had 6 years ago, I remember one time I was this was real big for me. So I remember I was really going through it professionally. My marriage was really rocky at that time. I was working too much, and I think I was just shutting the world out.
Yeah.
My dad, I buried my grandfather. My dad was dying. I was just shutting the world out. Friends, my wife, work. I was just shutting everything out. And one day I just broke down, and my dad looked at me and said, "Why are you crying?" And my wife just gave birth to my youngest son, which if you guys don't know him, he's already sometimes puts the stress on you. But he looked at me and he said, as I lay here in this bed and I can't even move or walk, look at the blessings that the Lord has given me. And he was like, remember that one time we was watching a service on television? I was like, yeah. He goes, sometimes you don't realize, how the Lord works in regards to faith, whether it's prayer or mentorship. But sometimes we get so tunnel vision on what the end game is or what the GPS is, right?
Yeah.
Where are we going? Where do we want to go? Not realizing that sometimes the detours that we have to go through to get to where the Lord wants us to be, where we want to be, sometimes it ain't the easiest to get to.
No.
And we're there for a reason.
Yeah, he said that. I don't know if you said that word or not, but there's a
reason for the season. That's what
absolutely.
Reason for every season.
Yeah.
I feel like I think that's part of life. I feel like in order to really make it through life, you have to go through some things.
Oh, yeah.
And then I feel like also going through those things, going through those difficult times, it makes you strong on the other side. It'll make you appreciate the hardships and the speed bumps.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it's very important.
You can't really progress to the next phase without, overcoming your current circumstances. So
I agree.
I can dig that. Yeah. So we're gonna keep it pushing. The next question, as far as during those difficult times, I know it's gonna be pretty hard or it can be hard to stay focused because a lot of things are throwing you off. So not to really piggyback on that last question, but what are some ways that just even outside difficult times, what are some things that you guys do to stay focused? Like if you have a goal, if you're trying to get to a certain point, whether it's career-wise, whether it's fitness, whether it's within boxing with both of you guys, what are some things you guys do to stay focused?
One thing I'll say that has helped me, and something I didn't have as a teenager, as an adolescent, as I became older, started approaching 30, one thing I realized I gotta have, and whether it's faith, whether it's professionally, personally, I gotta have patience. And not be so like, it's gotta happen now. You know, sometimes we talk about struggles, whether it's whatever we're going through. Patience is what keeps me focused. My kids, the things that I value, is the anchor. The Lord and the faith is the anchor. The things that He brought me to, what He gave me is the anchor. But understanding that sometimes we have to weather that storm, and sometimes it's not easy.
No.
So I'd probably say the blessings that I do have, and the ones we overlook.
Sure.
So.
My take on that, what I do to keep focus, solid mindset first and foremost, but what I do is kind of remember why I'm doing it in the first place.
Sure.
You know, what's my end goal? What's my actual purpose here? A lot of people tend to not be able to stay focused or end up backing out because they don't have like a clear vision on what they actually want. So, you know, at any given time, something goes wrong, you know, knees buckle from under them, and you know they're ready to give up.
True.
But yeah, having a focus. I mean, having a purpose for why you're doing that, being able to look back and you know these are the reasons, this, that, and the third, and actually that end goal, reaching that end goal, and I don't know, having that end goal in mind, it makes me feel a certain way. Like this, accomplishing this is going to be able to provide this for not only me, but for the people that I care for.
Sure.
My daughter, my family, my loved ones, my friends, my entire circle. So that's what keeps me focused. It's not about just doing it for me. It's, you know, for the people that, you know, I'm doing this for.
I mean, both guys touched on it because my thing that keeps me focused really is kids. At the end of the day, like understanding that everything I'm doing is not just for me. So like, I look at just how I look at how my dad raised me. Like I knew he went to work every day, and it wasn't just for the fact that he was trying to get him a paycheck. He did that because he knew that he had to provide. Right. So no matter what, rain, sunshine, you understand, like I'm focused no matter what, it can't deter me from what I got to do. It's not for me.
Yeah.
It's for, you know, for my kids.
I agree, bro. Like, shout out to my mom. I know my mom's watching this, but I shared it.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, my dad was a disabled war veteran, so my mom really, at a very young age, carried the household financially. That's what she had to do it. That was just I don't want to say circumstances that she was given, but that was just the role that she picked up. She picked the ball up and ran with it.
Yeah.
So you like bars fun, but I really appreciate her. And like you said, it's about your kids, it's about your loved ones and stuff like that. Like my wife, she didn't come from the best financially, you know, home. And so that's our goal, is to provide our kids experiences and opportunities, and vacations and memories that we never got a chance to do. Not because our parents did a poor job, it's because the resources just weren't there.
True.
You know what I mean? So I agree with you.
Cool. So y'all touched on one thing, so I'll skip to another question. During that, you touched on purpose. And I'll start with you. How important is it to you, or how important do you think finding a purpose is in life? Like how do you think that?
Oh, it's essential to live a happy life. You know, you have to have a vision of where you want to be ultimately, or else what are you striving for? You know, everything that's going to hit you and blindside you, like what is your purpose for overcoming these things when you get down on yourself? I mean, so yeah, you have to have that. It also creates structure, you know, give you something to work towards. So, and I said this before within the last question, if you don't have a vision, that's what kind of, you know, causes a lot of people to become complacent in life. You know, you kind of fall off and you go wherever the wind blows, and ultimately you live a very, you know, sad, dissatisfied life. Because you're not doing anything for you, for your benefit, you know, what your heart is saying to you. So, I mean, it's critical. It's essential. If you don't have a vision, I mean, kind of making yourself available to kind of build somebody else's dreams.
Yep.
You know, that's true.
So,
Yeah.
me?
No, the other guy.
So with mine at Trevon, I kind of like really nailed what a lot of what I was gonna say, but in some other terms or other words. When I was in 6th grade, man, it's ironic how life works and how God moves you. In 6th grade, I didn't even know there was a boxing gym in Columbus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna detour real quick to show you where I'm going, where the purpose thing kind of hit me. 6th grade, I didn't know there was a boxing gym. It's Black History Month, and we had to draw names out of a hat of who we were going to do a project on.
Yeah.
I got like one of the last names. Like there was only like 2 people left. One was like a lawyer or something like that, and Muhammad Ali. I didn't know anything about the man. I mean, way before my time. But obviously I wanted to go with an athlete.
Yeah.
Then a little more traditional history. So I went with Muhammad Ali, and I went down to the Columbus Library. I checked out a book. Never returned it. It was just too good, man. I couldn't give it back.
They billed you, though.
Yeah, they did. Shout out to my mom and dad for paying that bill. Never returned. Still got it. It's right in my bathroom right now. I still got it. He's got all these amazing quotes, but one that stuck. I'll give you 2 that stuck. And this is 6 months before I even knew there was a boxing gym in Columbus. That's not even where I plan on going. But he had 2 quotes that I feel like were completely compelling, passionate, and where I wanted to be as a person. One, the service you do for others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. That's huge.
Yeah.
I don't want to be someone who, I could go a different career-wise. I can go a different, outside of my personal life in regards to helping young people. I could not do that and be way more financially stable or, beneficial. But no, I got to where I'm at now because of people giving back to me. So I definitely can't just not do that.
True.
Second one was a man who sees the planet the same way, or sees life. The man who sees life the same way at 50 as he did when he was 20, wasted 30 years of his life. So those 2 quotes really impacted me because you talk about purpose. Like I want to give back. I want to. If it wasn't for people investing in me, like my boxing coaches, those adults outside of, as a teenager, you kind of get rebellious. Your parents tell you to do something, you're kind of like, your mom and dad, you tell me that because that's your job. Yeah. If it wasn't for those adults for investing in me, I don't know where I'd be at. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be the same person at 50 as I was 20.
Yeah.
It's a waste.
Yeah. So for me, and I ain't gonna talk too much.
I don't know if that was some verbal jabs there or not.
Oh no, man. But no, as far as when it comes to purpose, man, one big thing for me is it took a while to understand that you don't have to find out your purpose when you're 15, 20, 25 years old. Because for me, like I always knew that I just wanted to help people. I was raised that way through my parents. They were always if they weren't in church, they were in the nursing home. They weren't in the nursing home. They were in the community. They were in the community. They were doing something, but they were always helping somebody. So having that type of bringing up, I don't know if that makes sense. Having that upbringing, I got you. Facts, appreciate you. Right there. Have that type of upbringing, it kind of put me in a position where that's what I wanted to do. Like, it don't matter about me, but if I can help somebody else, like, I'm cool with that. So, finding my purpose, I would have never thought, even last year, if you told me, like, well, Drum, not only are you going to be able to help people, but you're going to be a city elected official to where you really can make an impact and really do something to help people. I would never saw that. But I feel like that is lining up with what my purpose is. Because I always wanted to help people, but I didn't know how.
Right.
And that didn't reveal itself to me until I was 31 years old, not even thinking about politics.
Right.
But it's also, I guess, a testimony to the fact that I was prepared for that as well. Like, I was in the right position to walk into my purpose, if that makes sense. But that is key as well, to be in the right position. not only for your blessing, but to be ready to walk through that door if that opportunity opens up. Go ahead.
Yeah, before you move on, like I want to kind of touch on something you brought out right out the gate, that you didn't have your purpose figured out when you was 15, 16. Neither did I, and I used to put a ton of pressure on myself to have. I still do now, to have everything like lined up. I want everything to be perfect, have a vision of like where I was going. When I didn't know, because I mean, the world is a very vast place.
Yeah.
So many things you can do, especially now with the technology continuing to evolve and social media and so forth. But yeah, man, don't rush it. Definitely, by all means, explore life, man. Find out what suits you and what makes you happy. And at that point, every sacrifice, every bit of stress that comes to you, that kind of brings back to the first and second question. Like, it makes it all worth it in the end.
Yep.
Because what you're doing, if it brings you happiness in the end, it's worth the sacrifice. It's worth the sometimes the anxiety that you may go through, because a lot of people put pressure on yourself. But yeah, man, I just wanted to, don't be in a rush to kind of figure out what it is that you want to do, man. I mean, the sooner you can get there, the better, but it's a process that you have to have patience.
Yeah, I mean, when I'll tell you right now, when I was 16, when I first started boxing, I was like, oh, I'm going to go pro, I'm going to fight as long as I can, and then my body, not just my body, but I started a family at a young age, so,
complicated.
Yeah, life got really strange for a while. But I know for a fact when I was 15 and 16 that that I know for sure that I wanted to when I quit fighting. When I'm gonna quit fighting, I'm gonna coach. I didn't think it'd be so early, and then when I'm doing career wise now, I just fell into that. But if you talk about where you're at with a city elected official, right? Like I didn't know I was gonna be there, but I'm there, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened for me career-wise, like in regards to helping young people. I took the position that I started at out there where I work at. Just thought I was going to be like a fitness coach, just working young people out. I was at that point just got my boxing coaching license.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on it.
Yeah.
But God put me there. My eyes opened up. Like, oh, bro, this is where I need to be. This is what I got to do.
Taking risks. I think that's another thing. I think we talked about the other day. He said, "Bro, you got to do it. Like, take that risk, because it'll pay off. I feel like it'll pay off." And then, like you said, you didn't go to Atterbury to be what you're doing now. Like, you went there for a specific reason.
Yeah.
You thought.
Yeah.
But also not being afraid of the opportunity, because that opportunities came.
Well, and then like Trayvon stated earlier in regards to complacency.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not progressing, if you're not somewhere getting better at some category in your life,
Yeah.
what's that purpose?
Yeah.
What's the reason? Take that risk.
That's kind of when you touch on if you're doing the same thing at 20, or the same thing at 50 that you're doing at 20, because you got complacent, you were comfortable.
Yeah.
One thing that I think it was Eric Thomas, somebody read, it might have been Les Brown. It's like being uncomfortable. Learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. I think.
Yeah, it's Les. That's a good guy, man. Les Brown, smart character. I got a cake in front of you too. I don't know if y'all want to take a bite.
Go ahead, sir.
Nah, hey, whoa. I'm slimming down right now. I'm gonna work through mine. I don't need yours too. Slowly just get that little push. Hold on. Hold on.
I want the cake. Eat the cake. All right, so
you eat your cornbread?
I'm gonna eat my cornbread. Oh man. So one thing I wanted to make sure that I asked a question about. I really asked a question to get your opinion on. Was people like to talk about having a small circle, having like-minded people around you, even building a team.
Right.
How important is that to you guys? And then to make that I guess double question, how do you go about selecting those people? Like, What is it? What characteristics do they have? Like, how do you know when you found the right team?
So, I talked about my father, and I want to give a shout out to a man named Ron Thompson, who's always like, if I was being hard-headed with bumping heads with my dad, like,
OG Ron.
you know, Ron, I go to the gym and somehow Ron would say the same thing my dad said in different words. But my dad, like I said, was a disabled war veteran, so I didn't have a father to teach me how to throw a football, to play basketball. You know, there's certain things, but I constantly, him and my mother, man, gave me like verbiage that just stuck. In regards to my circle, one thing my dad said: if you are the most successful person in your group, you are in the wrong circle.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong group. And that to me, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, there's nothing wrong with being successful. But you got to have people who's going to challenge you.
True.
You know, Trayvon talked about how he's how do you word it? Fitness enthusiast.
Yeah.
That's a very nice way to say it.
I was like, man.
That's great. Nice word. But the people you put in your small circle, in your group, it's okay to have an impact or be social or have a large, an impact on large amounts of people.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But in regards to goal setting, that end game, you need to have that tight circle that you know is going to challenge you. And I don't want to use the term yes man, but when something needs to be said, they're going to say it. They're not just going to say it to you because you want to hear it. And Trayvon, like he said, he's a fitness enthusiast. That's a T-shirt. We're going to get a T-shirt with
the definition of it.
I didn't see Trayvon for a couple months, and Trayvon said, "Whoa, Seth, we put some pounds on it."
Keep it real, probably hurt.
Ironically, he's trying to shove me his cake right now, but I don't know if that's a undertone.
He's going to bite you.
You took up a new profession, cake eating.
No. You can keep going. I'm gonna eat my
your purpose.
I'm gonna eat my one slice. But Mom always said birds of a feather flock together. But my dad also always said, do not be the most successful person in your group. Have people who's going to challenge you. One time I remember it was we were doing a side job, and my dad obviously was a supervisor, which is how it goes. When you're the child. It was me and my brothers, and the older ones were kind of going back and forth. And he said, "Hey! Too many chiefs, not enough Indians." And what I took from that was that, sometimes you don't have to lead. As long as you have faith in the leader who's leading, it's okay. And that's one thing I look for in the group that I surround myself with. I don't want to talk like I feel like I'm an alpha male, but I don't feel like I'm going to ride the coattails of anybody. But I have to be comfortable with people that I know that if there's a day that I got to fall back, or because I don't know everything.
Yeah.
And, there's certain things that I don't understand.
Yeah.
And I gotta have faith in the people around me to take that on.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one thing, and to be a good chief.
Yeah.
To be a good chief, to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower first.
Yeah.
So those are things I probably.
Yeah.
Fitness enthusiasts, go ahead.
Hit me with that question again. I know it's a two-part question.
Okay. So as far as we're talking about the small circles, right? Because
Yeah.
I was so deep into your thoughts.
I appreciate it.
So yeah, as far as when it comes to having a small circle of like-minded people around you,
I thought it was Trayvon.
and as far as you thought about it, but as far as having like-minded people, having that small circle, and also working as a team. So I guess the double side of the question was how important is it working with the team, and also how are you finding that team?
So I mean, outside of me just being big into fitness, I do a ton of reading. There was a book called Think Big, Grow Rich, but I'm all about. I read a book about having a mastermind, which is having a group of like-minded individuals, and not only that, but I feel like the universe is all about energy here. So it kind of goes back to that mastermind, having a group of like-minded individuals with all like batteries. So if we all think the same, when we get together, we feed off one another's energy. So we charge one another and propel one another to reach that same goal.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
yeah, that's definitely as far as my group of circle. I mean my group of friends. I have a very, I would like to say successful. We're all young and they're definitely in positions that I would love to be in, but obviously that's not where I would say my passion lies. strive for better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, when I'm in a position and I can, you know, I get stuck, I kind of feel like a lack of motivation, I can always reach out to one of my close friends to kind of figure out, you know, just pick one another's brains and, you know, feed off that energy to kind of give me some ideas, kind of like boost me forward, and I feed off their momentum as well. So I'm constantly chasing, they my rabbits in the group. Like, all y'all my rabbits. I'm chasing y'all in some aspect, some facet of life. I'm chasing y'all and wanting to be where you guys are at.
I like that. I like how you said as far as the rabbit. I like that because it's like to have people on your team that each have different, not really principles, but different qualities that you have. Like, and that goes for everybody I'm around. But I'm also, like I said, I keep my circle like this just because I have to control what I can control. So I can't control the type of people I see in the store.
Right.
But I can control the type of people that I interact with on a daily basis. So if I'm trying to get to a certain level, then I need to have certain people around me that are going to constantly keep me on that same path. So for me, that was big. Like, I've never had a lot of friends. I've never been. I have a lot of acquaintances. I know a lot of people because I speak to everybody. Keep it buddy at the gym. So I speak to everybody, right? But as far as the people that I hang with on a daily basis, like, I feel like you have to be a certain type of person with you have to have some type of drive. I can't, like you said, you don't want to ride a coattail. I feel like I don't have any friends that'll ride a coattail, but I feel like I have friends that if they need a ride, then, you know, they know that I can pull them along. Like, I like that as well. Right. Because I know for a fact that if I need anything, if I call Trayvon, I'm like, man, I'm lacking in this. Right. It's cool. And then I also don't feel some type of way asking for it. Like, I don't want to be around a group of people that if I feel like I got to ask, like, you're going to look down upon me like, man, this guy again. Like, no, bro. Like, understand, like, if I need your help, there's a reason why.
There's that Facebook meme, you know what I mean? It says, I'm sure you guys have seen it. It says, maybe not you, because you don't have Facebook.
The Facebook list over
here.
Yeah.
He's not a social media enthusiast.
No, it's all gym. It's all gym, baby. So, gym and books.
So, there's that, you know, you want those people in your circle that, you know, that says, hey, like, I can remember exactly word for word or the verbiage of it, but it says, hey, you want to go get something to eat? It's like, I don't have money. I didn't ask that.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't ask that. And so, on the flip side, the moment we talk about leaning on each other, you know, sometimes it's okay not to lead, you know, based on characteristics. Cherish those moments when people do come to you, because it means they appreciate your word. They appreciate your thoughts and your words have meaning. And I tell people all the time, people don't care what you say unless your words have meaning. And I won't go into and talk about friendships and all that. I won't go into exactly what was said, but this is one day, like, I'm being real with you on this moment right here.
I'm sorry if I did.
No, you didn't do nothing bad, nothing bad.
Except for trying to get you.
Trying to shove, you know, I just bragged about before this video how I'm down to 8 pounds, and he's like, eat this cake.
I'm just testing you, man, to see how committed you are.
There was one
trying to build you.
For those who don't know, you know, Trayvon was living in Indy for a while, and he hit me up one day. Was like, hey, I want to chat with you and get some advice, which is cool. I appreciate that. I didn't realize we were friends, but I didn't realize I had that bond with him. That he, you know, was all right. You know, I'm thinking, all right, I'll drive to Indy. You know, that's what I'm thought. And he's like, well, I'll come down. I'm gonna be in Columbus. I'm gonna come down to Columbus. And we sat down at a Starbucks and probably rapped for like an hour, and him just spitting stuff at me, seeing where we're at, and then we're going back and forth. I mean, it was a brother moment. And I've been in his corner where he's knocked dudes out. Been in his corner to where, you know, he wasn't happy with his performance. We've talked about moments where he was. We felt like some things were taken away from him that it shouldn't have happened. Yeah. But that everything that me and him have been through, that was probably my favorite moment.
Intimate, yeah.
Because that was real. That let me know that there was a brother bond. You know what I mean?
That's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing.
The B part of that question, though, as far as how do we choose the people that we be around, I like to say I was blessed with a great sense of discretion and being able to read people and their motives and their energy, pick up on that. But also, I like to hang out with people that I have who I share paths with people that I share a future with. Meaning that we have the same outlook, the same vision.
Right.
Wanting to be successful. Like, back in the day, I didn't live a perfect life. I used to make friends just at parties, college parties, drinking, hanging out, fighting, being a knucklehead. That was cool. Those are memories in the past. But moving forward, I can't bring you along with me in the future.
It's a dead weight.
Yeah, if you're not chasing the same goal, all you're doing is holding me back, man. So, yeah, you want to surround yourself with people that have the same end goal. It doesn't have to be the same goal, but success is what they want to do. Whether it has to be something positive,
Yeah. No.
And what you said, and that's not an easy thing. So that's what brings down a lot of people because I'm not gonna say it brings me down, but my thing is like because I love helping people, I don't want to lay anybody down, right? So if I got friends that I know I used to be friends with back in the day, and we just on two different levels, I still feel that urge and tug to reach down. Like, look, bro, like I know you still messing up, but I'll do what I can to help you. So learning to not really separate yourself from that, but tell people no. Like when they ask you, my thing is I'm a yes. I'm not just yes man, but if I feel like if
You want to help.
if it's within my reach,
Right.
absolutely. Now, yeah, I wear myself probably a little bit thin, but that's how I was raised. I look at my dad the same way. I feel like if anybody asked my dad for anything, I don't care what time of the night it was, Wood, I need this. Sleepy or not, he's popping up and he's just. But that's what I saw. So when he said, as far as they don't have the right future vision, but that past, it's learning to. It's a difficult conversation. It's a difficult conversation to leave that buddy that you've been with for 15 years to leave him for the guy that you met that you only known for 3.
I had to do that with one of my closest friends, and I promise you right now, I don't wish anything bad upon him.
Mm-hmm.
But I just realized as adults we were at different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about, I met that man when he was like 12, 13 years old, and we were tight. But me and him had some conversations, and I don't wish anything foul upon him.
Mm-hmm.
If he honestly ever needed anything, I would do it. Like, hey, I need help doing it. I'm stuck or whatever. I'd go out and do it. But we as adults, we're different.
Yeah.
We're not the same. You know what I mean? And me and him have great memories. He's done some awesome things for me. I've done some things for him. But as adults, we're just different. Soul-wise, perspective-wise, it's just not going to work, you know what I mean? And like, there's nothing, I don't wish anything foul upon him. I wish him nothing but success. So that's the.
And we'll move on, but I just wanted to touch on it. It's not that and I know we all agree on this, so we're not telling people to say, like, because we used to kicking in the past, we'll kick now. Like, when I see you, I don't speak to you. Like, if you need my help, I'm still going to tell you, nah, bro, I mess with you. But I look at it as more so as, I don't have the time I don't have that time to invest. I can't give you that much of my time. Like, if I see you, if you see something right there, you know what it is. Like, but I don't want to look at, because a lot of people look at that like, man, you fake. You a lot of dudes I tell you, Uncle Tom, whatever the word you want to use is. No, that's not the case, bro. We just on two different. We use different wavelengths right now.
What's the saying? If it don't apply, let it fly.
Yeah.
But if the shoe fits, I got family members like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing personal. It's not. But what you are doing will be detrimental to me, and it's bigger than me now. I got kids.
Yeah.
I got a wife. You know what I mean? So I'm right there with you.
So another thing I want to touch on, man, is daily routines. I feel like that is very important. It's having that structure, having that plan, setting those goals. So I know that. And for me, and I'll speak really briefly on me, I know that my daily routine has changed so much over the years, so much. But I feel like it's changed for the better because typically I didn't really have a routine. So when I get up in the morning, it was one of the things where, I probably didn't understand how important a daily routine was. Mm-hmm. So I would get up, and I'm one of them guys that be at work at 8 o'clock. My mom goes up at 6:30, hit the snooze. My mom goes back up at 7 o'clock, hit the snooze. I pop up at 7:30, like, man, then I'll be mad on the way to work, like, man, I can't do this tomorrow. Then we'll wake up tomorrow and do the exact same thing because I didn't have a daily routine. I didn't have, let me get up at this time to do this. Like, but just to ask you guys, now that I'm starting to be an avid book reader, like brother Trayvon Childs over here.
Hey, book enthusiast.
Yeah, I know, right? but I'm learning how important when any book you read. Like I'm reading a book now by 50 Cent. When when you have that daily routine, you stick to it. Like somebody said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But to have that daily routine, to you guys, and I'll start with you, Trayvon, how important do you think it is to have a daily routine?
It's just as important as having a purpose in life. You know, it's essential. What it does is it provides structure to your life. Because like I said before, if you don't have an end goal, you don't have a purpose, you don't have a vision, then you end up wound off working with somebody else, building their vision, creating their dreams. Same goes with that daily routine. You know exactly how you're going to allocate your time for your day. I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is, outside of praying.
Push-ups.
Well, yeah.
1,000.
Yeah.
I do. Let me go ahead and dips off the bed.
First thing I do, man, is I work out. That gives me my energy for the day. Like, I feel like hitting the gym, like my first battle, I started my day with the victory just off of that. My first battle has already been conquered going to the gym. And I have that momentum, I have that energy inside myself, my endorphins are flowing where I'm in a good mood. I'm ready to tolerate the crap that's about to be thrown at me from the rest of the world at that point. But right after the gym, I read, like I say, in the morning, spend time prayer, meditating, showering. But it provides structure, man, because if you don't, I was at a point one time where I used to wake up, hit snooze about 13 times before I actually get out of bed. Next thing I know, I'm frustrated because I'm at work now and then I'm dealing on with like the daily processes of life and I feel like overwhelmed and I'm stressed out. Next thing I look back, it's 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I haven't done anything for myself. So it's like, man, it's not enough time in the day at that point. But yeah, you get up, have a process, how you gonna spend your day. The earlier you wake up, especially if you have kids, because once the kids wake up, you're not working on your time anymore, you're working on your kids' time. So that's the earlier you can wake up.
Wish I would have got that a little earlier.
Where was that on the instruction?
The earlier you can wake up, that is me time. First thing in the morning, that's me time. Me reading, me hitting the gym, me doing things for myself, and figuring out how I'm gonna structure my day. That kind of goes into, that's puzzle by puzzle, piece by piece, day by day, it's feeding into like that end goal that I have set up for myself.
When in regards to
Wait.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was something else you needed to say. We got a little more cake. Trayvon's gonna eat his. We'll see how that goes.
Somebody finally touched you. Way to go, bro.
Break the bread.
Go ahead, Seth.
No, I'm gonna wait till I finish the good. So, daily routine wise, I gotta
mouth. No.
But can we get some milk?
Well, you just
Daily routine wise, I was really getting to where before we got into this pandemic stuff. That's one thing that I was probably proud of myself. Like, I started hitting the gym. I'm not gonna hit it as early as y'all be hitting it. First off, we've had that conversation. Typically, when I'm rolling into the gym, Jerome is rolling out.
5:30 in the morning.
He does not. Jerome does not lay. I haven't hit the gym early with Trayvon, but I'm sure his gym day starts probably a little early.
Levels to that, though.
Yeah, just doing dips driving. But you in the car, Jerome, Trayvon over in the seat, talking about I'm ready.
That was a good one.
But I was really happy that I was finally getting back in that routine. There's no lie about it that by the time it was time for me to hit work, my mind's already up. It's open. It's rolling. I know I work with a lot of veterans, and they openly always state that first thing you should do in the morning is get up and make your bed. Get up and make your bed.
See, and interject. My wife's still in the bed when I get up.
That's where, I'm there with you.
So I just like,
Hey, real quick, let me piggyback on that.
Oh, you going back to the dips?
I'm going to excuses, what he said. I heard excuses always sound best from the person that makes them. So I'm going to leave it at that.
So, if there's no one in your bed sleeping, so you don't wake them up, every veteran I've ever spoke to is like, you get up, make your bed, first thing you do, because it gives you a sense of accomplishment already earlier in the day. So I definitely believe that. In regards to routines, you talk about me time. This is where we talk about avid reading and stuff like that. You talk about the book you're reading, and Trayvon's a book enthusiast.
Yes. Life enthusiast.
One of the best books I have read is by Gary Chapman, The 5 Love Languages, and it really takes you out of being self-centered. It's one of the things that really helped me out in my marriage, besides faith, was this book, and because it takes you out of being self-centered and kind of opens up to give your spouse the language they need and how they communicate, appreciate. Yeah, it's a really good book. Shout out to Mr. Brett Frederick, one of my buddies. He's the one that put me on that book. Peace sign. But with that, so we talked about routines. The moment my wife says, I don't care what I'm doing, if I'm doing dishes, if I'm on the yard, the moment she says I'm taking a bath, that's her thing. We talk about managing stress and doing something therapeutic, whether it's working out, puzzles, you brought up, video games, whatever. That's her thing. The moment my wife says I'm hitting the bath, bro, I know exactly at that moment the kids are mine. I'm taking it. That's me. You know, it's my. You know, I'm gonna at this point forfeit what I got to do. Let her get that bath time because that definitely helps her out. Mm-hmm. So I know that's a routine thing. The moment I hear that I'm taking a bath, boom. She's shutting the world out. She needs that. Mm-hmm. So that's typically about the same time every day. And it's for a very long time, but that's what she needs. It's a very, very long bath. Very long bath.
Oh man. Right on, man.
Oh man, that's good. So next question. During life, whether you're succeeding, whatever you're going through, you're going to fail at some point. And you're not just going to fail once, you're going to fail a lot. How do you guys view failure?
Man.
Who wants to go first? You know.
I'll take it from.
All right, go.
Okay, I'm going to go.
So,
I'm going to hit this cake
man,
as you're speaking.
I feel like I answered a lot of these questions like within the first 7 answers. Like, hey, man, you got to challenge me a little bit, bro. Anyhow, no, I'm just wait for the next one. Failure, I view that as essential also, man. So it promotes growth.
Woo!
You like that?
That's good.
I don't want you working backwards from the 8 pounds. Should I move this?
No, I don't want to. I'm doing dips. Don't worry about it. I'm doing dips.
Everything that I've been through, man, it's only a loss. You only fail at something when you give up. You know, if you don't see yourself getting back up, giving it another shot, then yeah, you failed at that. But I consider myself, me and my boy Jerry, shout out wherever you are, man, but we kind of live by the same creed. There are no losses, only lessons. So as long as there's a victory in every loss, as long as you learn from it.
Yeah.
I used to, in a fight game, growing up with boxing, golden gloves. I haven't been knocked down, but I took some pretty hard blows. And you learn to this was amateur, by the way. You learn to hey, you get caught slipping, next time you better throw that hand up, man. Punch and move, stick and move.
You're talking about life lessons. I saw this man get angry because he didn't knock the guy out. So we'll talk about that's a whole. We'll table that
because that wasn't part of my vision.
I know.
I was upset. You know,
this was dropped.
Yeah. But yeah, man, failure is essential to you growing, becoming better. It helps you know better. It prepares you moving forward. For if that same situation was to reoccur, you know how to handle it the next time. So it's essential, man. Don't take just because you didn't get the results that you wanted or were hoping for. Mm-hmm. Don't take that as hey man, I need to go find something else, a loss or something, and give up at it. Yeah. No, bro, you learn. You gotta have an abundance mindset to where hey, there's gonna be more opportunities to come about just like this one. How you gonna react to it moving forward?
Yeah, I completely agree, Kurt. There's something we got at some time in our life, whether it's teenage years, young adult life, midlife, whatever. When you're not successful at something you're trying to do, you have to understand that you got to set your pride to the side, and that's where I know as a young adult, like early 20s, that's where I really struggled because I did not view it as in boxing I did, but not in life. Mm-hmm. Sport-wise, at that point I was not putting it parallel. It was two separate realms.
Oh, yeah.
It was really hard for me to not be successful and not and take it as a learning lesson. It wasn't until I started hitting my mid-20s where that changed. But you have to understand, if you fail at something, there's a reason. Mm-hmm. That means there's a weakness.
Yeah.
And if you don't develop that weakness, It's going to get you every time.
Keep repeating the cycle.
And so I was asked from my job a couple of years ago to be a trainer for managing aggressive behavior, how to manage young people who are upset. So they flew me out to Baltimore, and I took this training and stuff like that. And they asked me because I like to speak, just like you. You know, that's something probably you get from your father. You know, Pops was really good at speaking. That was something I got from my father. My mom will completely give my dad that credit. I can talk to a doorknob. I'm okay with it. But where I struggle at, I did anyway, was reading aloud. You give me somebody said something at a funeral I was at last week. Like, I didn't realize you were a public speaker. Well, with my job, I have to speak in front of 400 people every week. Mm-hmm. You know, you get comfortable doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Put me in front of 400 people and tell me to talk. I'll be all right. Put me in front of 5 and tell me to read. You know, I'm a struggle. But that's something I developed, and I recognize that, and I failed multiple times, and sometimes still do, and it's okay, as long as you continue to progress.
Well, I ain't gonna have you read today.
What you got on that?
Oh, me on failure. So, I used to have the. Go ahead, man. I know you want more.
I just want one bite.
I know. Go ahead. So I used to. It's not as bad now. I hated to fail. Like I looked at failing as losing, and I'm the biggest sore loser in life. Like I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a race. I don't care if it's a car.
Play Uno with me.
2K.
Play Uno.
2K.
Play
I don't
Uno.
care if it's Scrabble.
Foot race. What?
I don't care if it's thumb war. I don't like to lose. It's just what it is. I tell everybody. My dad never said that with me. He was like, Jerome, this is how you lose. We were taught to win. Therefore, I don't know how to lose.
What?
Anyway,
pretty good at it though. So really can't complain.
Watch him throw a deck of cards.
Stage manager said we have about 8